I've been doing some work for a company in Brisbane, and in their yard they've got this old Lister-powered site dumper. Forlorn looking, obviously unloved, nobody cares. They said it doesn't work and it's got to go for scrap. So I offered them some money, and $250 later, it's mine. Then I'd pay the guys from Tow and Ride in Caloundra $300 plus GST to move it to my front yard, and here it is, getting dropped off. I'm a bit surprised that they didn't have a little bit more trouble moving the thing. Apparently it rolls, but I don't know if the gears work, I don't know if the clutch works, I don't know if the brakes work. But anyway, they've loaded it up and it looks like they're going to be able to drop it off, no trouble at all. So while the little fella takes on the undergrowth, I do what I always do when I acquire a project and take to it with the old tin of WD-40. Spray everything. Give it a good drenching. We'll give it a bit of a once over, waste a bit of time and figure out what we need to do to get it going. See what happens. Very, very old. Yes, Bear?
This is older than the tractor.
Eh?
Older than the tractor.
Older than the tractor?
Yeah. Because Dad,
Yes.
it's got that thing. Dad's got that thing. Dad,
What?
it's got that thing.
Oh, it's got a big bucket, hasn't it?
Yeah, because when it's got that big bucket,
Right, turns over at least. Blimey, governor. Figure out how to start the damn thing. Better get it primed and put fuel and stuff in it first.
Dad,
Yes, Bear?
we got from there.
Alright. Right, so we've established it turns over. There is, however, a little bit of a leak
Dad,
from the fuel pipe, so there's a few things that are going to need to be replaced. Just a minute, Bear. Have a look at the air filter. Dipstick's seized in. It does appear to have an oil filter down there, which is interesting. So we'll have a little bit of a fiddle, see if we can get a fuel pipe,
Dad,
see if we can get an air filter, an oil filter, see if we can get a dipstick out, see if we can get some fresh oil in it. Looks like the oil drains out through a little pipe down here. So here we have Dumpy, an unknown brand, made at an unknown time in an unknown location. Got no idea what it is or where it's from or who made it or even how old it is. Well, you know, it's got a Lister diesel. So we'll see what we can do. So I've just been undoing this rather rusty clamp with unsavoury means so that we can remove the air filter cover.
I know that.
Looks like the last service was the 4th of September 2006. It's 2018 now.
Wow.
I do know that the previous owners at the factory told me that they hadn't ran this machine for at least 5 years. So it'll be interesting to see if it hasn't been serviced for 12 years and ran for 5, what we find when we try and get this thing going. Little update then, we've managed to get the dipstick out, started to fill it back up with oil, got the oil filter off. This happens to be an oil filter that we can get fairly common locally, so we'll go and get one of those. And you see this brown sludge here, that what came out of the fuel filter. I can get the part number off the fuel filter and try and source one of those as well. But with a clean I think it might be okay just for the purposes of running up. So if we can replace the fuel pipe, bleed it through, put some oil in it, we might have a chance of getting somewhere, although I don't think it's going to be today. It's starting to get a little bit later on and there's things to do besides tinker. So I'll keep dousing it in WD, go and get some parts, and have another go probably later in the week or at the weekend. Alright, little update. I suspect that one of the reasons it wasn't used for so long is because this keyway is so badly worn. So I've just spent some time with a file trying to get an edge back so that the starter will grip. I've got a new fuel filter and then promptly stripped the thread, putting it back together so it wouldn't hold together, so I've had to glue it, leave it overnight. Looks like it's okay, it's not leaking now. Got a couple of hose bands around it. I've filled her up with fuel, I've bled the system, I've just bled the injectors, got my oil filter on, filled it up with new oil. So the next step now, put the cover back on, spin it over, cross your fingers. I'll be back in a minute. Right, back again. Recap. We've now got a fuel filter that's not been changed since September 06. I've got fresh fuel pipe, fresh filter, bled through to the injectors. We know we've got fuel. I have managed to turn it over with the handle, and I know I've got compression, and I've got fuel, and I've got fresh oil in the sump with a new oil filter. So, and you're going to have to bear with me this, because I suspect this is going to be a two-handed job. We have a dumper here that hasn't been started in, they've told me 5 years. Hasn't been looked after for as many more, I would suspect. Where's the camera on this thing? Right, I'm just going to rest this on here because I'm short of a pair of hands. So I'm going to give it a spin and see what happens. We've got that in the run position, compression's off. Let's that only fucking works. Awesome. Update, emergency stop. These old hydraulic hoses have a considerable age. Didn't like me just operating the steering. So I've got a fairly severe hydraulic leak. I've got a working lister. Got hydraulic oil everywhere. So next stop now is going to have to be hoses. So that'll have to be it for today, I reckon. That'll have to be it, yep. If anybody knows what this thing is, who made it, what year it is, I'd be really interested to find out. I can't believe it went first tug. That's funny.